Hello world, welcome to Africa Let's Talk. My name is Collins Kofi Opon. You can call me Mr. Beyond. Tonight, we will be speaking about women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge that has considerable impact for women. Please do me a favor, share the video, invite your friends to join the conversation as we delve into this very important subject with an individual that for me has dedicated greater part of her life to inspire greatness in women and leadership. My guest, she is the CEO of GDA Media Limited, an inspirational and conference speaker. She's also a best-selling author and the host of Standpoint. Please, wherever you may be from Ghana and beyond, help me welcome my esteemed guest tonight, Oheneyere Gifty Anti, joining me all the way from Ghana as we discuss women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge. Oheneyere Gifty Anti, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beyond.
I like that. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us from Ghana and definitely getting ready for this conversation as we discuss women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge. Especially to the non-Ghanaians viewers who may be watching us at this time, can you just share a bit about yourself, what inspires you, and how far you have come?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are across the globe. Well, I'm Oheneyere Gifty Anti, originally Gifty Anti. I'm the last of 8 children. I was born and bred and lived all my life in Ghana. I'm a journalist by profession. I'm a feminist, women's rights advocate and activist by passion. I'm a mother. I believe in the greatness of women. I believe in the power of a woman. I believe in women leadership. So for the past over 2 decades, I've been in front of the cameras, doing everything to promote womanhood, to promote a lot of the youth children, and also the underprivileged. You know, I hold so many portfolios. I'm involved in so many things
I know.
at the moment. Newborn champion, former ambassador for the Ghana Federation of the Disabled. You know, I do so many things.
Yes. It's amazing to really connect with you. Like you mentioned, you really play a great role in women leadership and also things that concern women. And that's why I believe that it's so important to have this conversation you do. If you join the conversation, like you heard it for yourself, I'm speaking with Oheneyere Gifty Anti. So do me a favor, share the video, invite your friends, do watch party, and let's get into this conversation. And please, your comments are also very much appreciated. You can leave your comments in the comment box and ask any questions you have for Gifty Anti as far as the topic for today is concerned. Like I mentioned earlier, we're talking about women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge for women. You know, women all over the world continue to make amazing progress in their families, at their organization levels, and in different pursuits. How will you describe the impact of women leadership in our world today?
Well, before I get to that, it just occurred to me that your viewers are across the world. So some of the people may not understand why I go by the title Oheneyere. I'm Oheneyere because I'm married to a chief. So Oheneyere simply means the chief's wife. You know, it's just like Mrs. You know, but traditionally I'm the chief, so it becomes Oheneyere. Okay. Now, women have led over the years. I mean, I dare say that goes way back from the Bible, from creation, from the time of Eve. We've led by, according to the Bible, making or convincing Adam to eat the forbidden fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Women have always impacted generation. It was because of the act of Eve that procreation started.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look across the Bible, across the Quran, across various traditional settings, it is the influence, or it was through the influence of women that development started. Because across the world, across traditions, across religions, we
Mm-hmm.
have something in common. We say the hand that rocks the cradle. And
Mm-hmm.
it is women who nurture,
Right.
women who raise children, women who impact.
Mm.
Though it takes both men and women, most of the time is a woman who
Mm-hmm.
really mold the children,
Indeed.
where there's a mother in the home, So women have always, all the great men and women that we have raised in this world, that we have had in this world, from the Kwame Nkrumah to Nelson Mandela, may he rest in peace,
Mm-hmm.
to Barack Obama, all of them cannot tell their story or their journey of greatness without attributing it to their mother or grandmother or
Mm-hmm.
sister or their wives. So women really have such a powerful influence,
Powerful
because
influence.
leadership is about influence.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is about the power that you have to lead, to guide, to direct, to empower,
Mm-hmm.
to show compassion, to open doors.
Right. Wow, amazing. I feel empowered already, and I'm happy this conversation is taking place right about now, especially in this world and with so much uncertainty going around the world. If you join the conversation once again, this is Africa Let's Talk. My name is Collins Kofi Opon. You can call me Mr. Beyond. I'm speaking with Oheneyere Gifty Anti. She's joining me all the way from Ghana whilst we talk about women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge. And she indeed has laid it where it's supposed to be, that women are leaders. And there's so many instrumental development that has come by because women were involved. Even once we talk about the major progress, like you mentioned, that women continue to make, there's always room for improvement. So for me, my question now would be, in what areas should the larger community commit to make the progress of women even better and more impactful?
In the sectors, in all areas. And before I even delve into that, I do have hold conferences yearly for the past 12 years since I've had my program, The Standpoint. I have Women Called to Worship for the Christians and a Muslim Women's Conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a passion. My latest book, I write about my love affair with Islam. Now, when it comes to Islam,
mm-hmm.
Sometimes people, underestimate the power of the Muslim woman.
Mm-hmm.
When you read the Quran, the story is told about a time when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon his name, was at the crossroads. I mean, there was a conflict, there was a war, and he was lost. He didn't know what to do. His men were all confused. It took the power of one of his wives. Wow. I think his youngest wife, who gave him counsel, and he heeded the advice of his wife, and he won the war. The Quran talks about the fact that heaven lies at the feet of your mothers. What's power?
Wow.
The Quran talks about the fact that many times that the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon his name, Nana Fatima, entered the room. Her father, the Prophet himself, will stand up as a sign of respect.
Oh, wow.
For his own child. So wherever you look at it, we have the power of men. When you come to traditionally, as I said, every continent, every country has a story of a woman who rose at a point in time. In Ghana, we have the Yasantua.
True.
And in recent times, we've had so many. We can mention Anakunedu Ajima Rollins. Across the world, look at when this pandemic broke out, the world was at a loss. The various countries that did so well in managing it, apart from Ghana, let me talk our own bit, were countries being led by women.
True, very true.
Do you get me? So that so much tells you about the power and the influence of women when they are not being intimidated, being manipulated, being scandalized for daring to stand up and be bold and confident and take up leadership role. Now, I believe that the larger society, I don't want to say men, society has to be able to accept and understand that women have a role to play.
Wow, true.
Women have a role to play, and they have something that is uniquely, attributed to women. You know, quite recently, before I wrote my first book, I went through a period where I broke my leg, my ankle.
Wow.
So this busy woman suddenly became homebound. I can't go anywhere. I was so distraught. I was nearly driven to depression. That was how bad it got. And it started by me not being able to do anything, lying at one place. Then I had to hop. Then I had to learn to walk with drag along with a Zimmer frame. And then I move on to and it just told me how much of a pain and a burden it was for me to just make use of just one leg.
One leg.
That is how a society that does not harness the powers and the abilities and the capabilities of women to participate in national development. That is the struggle of the society. That is the struggle of a community, of a country, of a nation, of a continent, and even the world.
And even
that is how it is. We need to come to understand that women need to take their rightful places. The table, proverbial table, is big enough. It's big enough for us to all go around it.
Yes.
The world is so huge. My father taught me something. He said, at night, when you look up, you see the stars when it's not cloudy.
True.
You see the stars. Some shine so bright, some not so bright, but they are all stars. And the stars you see in Ghana may not be the same stars you see in Australia.
Absolutely.
We all have a role to play. Some will be at the forefront, some will be behind, but we must all be respected. We should have mutual respect and understand that we all thrive in different environments and different roles, but we all come together to make one unit that is brightening the world.
That is brightening
as stars do.
Wow.
We need to be able to open doors, create spaces, create rooms, equal opportunities. You know, from my part of the world in Africa, normally say, oh, it's the culture, it's the tradition that has contributed to the issue, the problem that women are going through. And I dare say that it is a lie. You know why? Because as somebody being married to tradition, somebody married to a traditional leader, I made it a point to study our tradition even more. And if you look at it, the inequalities during the olden days between men and women was all about physical abilities, not intellectual.
Not intellectual. Very important point.
It wasn't. It was about a woman is not strong enough, so she can't go hunting. A woman is not strong enough, so she can't go, farming. And so she had to sell the goods and all that. But then when it comes to wisdom, that is why, our forefathers will tell you that if there's anything, you wake up at dawn and you talk to your wife. When, there's a problem, there's no way the elders will come to a conclusion without going to ask the older lady.
Older lady, yes.
Older lady.
Yes.
Yes, that's in traditional settings, among the kinship, around royalties. Yes. And even globally, they say that it's never ends until the old lady sings. The old lady brings finality to everything.
That's a very important thing. And indeed, even when we were in school, we're taught that culture is dynamic, but it looks like we didn't really adhere to that part of culture. That means that says that from your explanation, the fact that women, because of physical reasons and energy, were conformed to doing other things that would allow their energy, it does not mean that we still need to go that same trend and making sure we are limiting women in other areas. I'm very happy you've actually made this point, and thanks so much.
The world has changed. It's a global village now. Look at you, you're all the way in America. I'm in Ghana. We are having a conversation, seeing each other. We are being listened to across the world. So
we have to actually go by the new trend, of course.
Right.
How the new technology in the world is taking shape. If you join the conversation once again, my name is Collins Kofi Opon. You can call me Mr. Beyond. I have the privilege, so much honored this evening, this afternoon, to be speaking with Oheneyere Gifty Anti. She's joining me all the way from Ghana. Tonight, we're talking about women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge. Please share the video, get your friends to see it, and if you have any questions, contributions, feedback, please, you can always leave it in the comment box as we delve into this conversation. And like you mentioned, you are really very instrumental in a lot of things happening and some of the major projects that you have actually been involved with your interactions with women across the globe and specifically in Ghana. What are the major concerns that these women have?
The major concerns are very common. Perception of women, the demeaning and underrating the capabilities of women, the spaces being blocked to them, and even pay or salary structure between men and women, the skewing of policies, policies against women. Sometimes even the legal framework does not work well for women, does not make it possible for women to exploit, to explore their capabilities, to live their dreams. There are so many inhibitions that even when it comes to the marital institutions, family systems, it's just amazing that till date, modern Ghana, modern Africa, modern world. At the moment, I'm part of a group called the Coalition for the Rights of Survivors of Abuse.
Oh, okay.
And we are fighting to ensure that the system where victims of abuse are made to, especially sexual abuse, are made to pay for medical forms, should be abolished. It must be abolished. Indeed. In our legal system, in our constitution, in our legal framework, it does not exist. They are not supposed to pay.
True.
But then when you come to the practical aspect of it, they are paying. Pedophiles and rapists are walking around free.
Indeed.
Because the victims are not able to raise the money, sometimes as low as 200 Ghana, no, not 200. It ranges between 300 and 800 at the discretion of the medical doctor. And so poor girls from the village, the family can't even afford 20 cedis daily or monthly. And her family is supposed to go and pay 300, 400, 500 for medical forms.
No.
And so because of that, they can't pay. So the case does not make it to court. And the pedophile is going around, the rapist is going around, perpetrating the crime. Whilst this little girl is left to quote unquote rot.
Yeah. So I think actually it puts the society.
So the systems.
It puts
the systems that are working against the development and growth of women.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate. I mean, listening to this, of course, I'm not a woman, but then I have a feel for how women also understand certain things. And it's really hurting to know that if I ever find myself in a situation where I'm the victim, I am rather being oppressed with a system that is supposed to protect me. And I'm happy you are part of a coalition that is working to make sure that we correct these things. Once again, this is African Let's Talk. My name is Collins Kofi Opon. We're talking to Oheneyere Gifty Anti. She is joining us all the way from Ghana. Please, if you have any comments whatsoever, you can actually leave the comments and I will be glad to read them at some point in this conversation. But you see, we mentioned politics and it's of big interest to me, especially in Ghana. Women have had major setbacks in their attempts to actually occupy the highest seats of government. How will this narrative change, let's say, in the next 10 or 20 years? Will it ever change? Will it ever be different? Would we ever be confident enough to vote for a woman as president of a nation like Ghana?
It's challenging, but we'll get there. We will get there. Someday we'll get there. It's very frustrating.
I can imagine
that after all these years, after all the work that have been done, we don't seem to be making inroads when it comes to women and politics.
Mm.
You know, this year, thankfully, we have 3 women who have, come out as presidential candidates. We have Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings, we have Bridget Jubonuko of the PPP, and then we have this other woman, Madam Ifiadonko, yes, who's and then for the first time in the history of Ghana, one of the 2 political parties, the political giants, the NDC and the MPP, we've had, the NDC selecting a woman as a running mate.
Right.
And even that as a woman, her face is not going to be on the ballot paper.
On the ballot paper, yes.
So, yes, you may count that there's a woman out in there. It's exciting. We are going to have representation. Should they win? But the thing is she going to be able, or is she going to be allowed to make the necessary input, the contributions, to be the voice of the women who are excited that she's been nominated, she's been selected? We're left to see. You see, our political setup, the setting, is such that it's very, very frustrating for women, and so many things are used against the women. I remember when we started the Standpoint, my show 12 years ago, the first 2 programs we did about women and politics. And that time there was the consideration of a woman to be a running mate to now President Nana Akufo-Addo. That's Haji Halima Mahama. And all sorts of things were being used against it. She was being, has she got a husband? Where is her husband? Has she got children? How come she's divorced? And the same 12 years after, the same thing happened when Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman was selected to be the running mate to Mr. President John, former President John Mahama. The various political parties, sometimes, even the NPP, when you look at their leadership now, the executive, apart from the women's organizer, all of them are men.
That's
when you come to the NDC,
proportionate.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how many women they have there. About 2 or 3. Like tokenism.
So
the system, first of all, lack of finances to do the campaigns, the insults, the name calling, the frustrations being, enforced or being meted out to your family members. They depends on the kind of man you are married to. If you are married, is he going to be able to take the frustration, the insult, the name calling, all sorts of things? And not everybody can be a gifty auntie.
And for me, the big issue about this is that we are rather taking time and, of course, focusing on the trivialities. I mean, the things that do not really matter as far as the situation is concerned. And that's, for me, it's quite worrying, because there are bigger issues that we can look at. We can look at. So, sorry, Auntie Gifty. I know that when a conversation gets really passionate, mostly that's what happens. But I hope you are able to recompose yourself and get into this. Once again, this is Africa Let's Talk. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to continue the conversation about women politics and, of course, women leadership politics and the new global challenge right here on Africa Let's Talk.
What questions are on the 2020 census? The 2020 census will ask just a few questions about how many people live in your home, the sex, age, race, and ethnicity of each person.
Baby,
All right. Once again, welcome back to African Let's Talk. My name is Collins Kofi Opon. We are talking tonight about women leadership politics in the new global challenge. And I've seen a comment or two come in. So we're actually going to read the comments once we get Oheneyere Gifty Anti Recompose back into the conversation. Comfort Dondo, actually the funding executive of the Pumulani, says, great work, my brother, for putting women leaders on the platform. Thanks so much, Comfort. Indeed, we do this for God and country. And of course, Marge TV says, happy to be here. You're welcome, Marge. Let's keep sharing the video. And Teddy Boatin says, African Let's Talk is back. Indeed, African Let's Talk is back. Thanks so much for the support, Teddy Boatin. And of course, Sharon Boatin says, love this interview. Indeed, we are getting the conversation right and going on right about now. So please, the conversation has been about women leadership, about some of the major issues that confront women and how we are able to correct some of these issues. And like I said earlier, I believe that Oheneyere Gifty is very passionate about the topic of women. And just like me, when I'm passionate about something, I either choke on my words or something like that happens. And that is just what happens. That tells you how much of value that she places on the issue of with women. And I believe that community and societies, especially back home in Ghana and the rest of the world, would start to make systems work in favor of women and not to limit the capabilities of women. She said from the beginning that indeed, in the time past, during the olden ages, women were actually limited to the confines of how much physical and energy they can bring forth. But it was never limited to how much their thinking capabilities was. And unfortunately, we still go back, bringing that kind of culture into our society today and making it look like, as far as the woman cannot do this, we cannot allow them to take up leadership position. And that, for me, is very wrong, like she rightly said. And indeed, we've also been talking about then what is the next point and how community and the larger society can actually help to correct this tendency and making sure that the best is actually done, to make sure that the best is gotten from women. Women have a lot to offer. And until we are all ready to allow this reality, unfortunately, we cannot do much. But I believe with this conversation and many going around the world, we should be able to have this conversation. Oheneyere, how is it going? Oheneyere, is it a little better?
Yes, you're back. Yes, I'm better. I'm recovering from a very bad flu.
Oh, so sorry to hear that. And I'm even happy that...
I've had the flu for some time, but I'm better now.
Oh, okay. I'm happy you still made time to be on the show, even when you are dealing with a situation like that. And thanks so much for the passion. And I was just telling my viewers that I can feel the passion in your voice and in your delivery when you talk about these very important topics. And definitely, we are happy to really have this conversation going. So we're talking before about women politics and how they have not been able to occupy the highest seats, and when this is going to be a reality. There was something that came to mind. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I think about a year ago or so, was at a conference where there was this interaction with another woman. I didn't do much research about it, so I don't remember the woman. I think his point was that, yes, we are creating the enabling environment for women to survive and for women to prevail. But we need women to show up. So how are we drawing the correlation between women showing up and being available, and also the larger community making sure that the environment is set right for women to succeed?
Okay, so I remember this became an issue and I was very loud mouth about it. He said, who should open the doors? And which some of us took an offense because he's a leader. He's an AU gender champion.
Okay.
So, but yes. So the thing is, this brings into fore the argument of equity and equality. You see, some say women should be fighting for equity, but equity is the ultimate goal of what we are doing is equality. But equity is part of the process. Equity in the sense that you should know that women have been at the back burner for a very long time. So there must be special dispensation, special, conditions created, environment, situations created for them to be able to excel. Let me give you a typical example. Where the corporate world, we know women, when they get married, there's the possibility of getting pregnant and having children.
Yeah, true.
We are pushing for exclusive breastfeeding, 6 months, and then supplementary breastfeeding for 2 years. How is a woman going to be able to keep up, do all these things, and still excel in the corporate world? Is it possible to create an environment where she can have the 6 month maternity leave? Is it possible where the company, the corporate institution, will create a creche attached to the company so that when she comes to work, her nanny or whatever can have the baby on standby so she can take breaks to go and breastfeed her baby?
Right.
Is it possible that even as she's home, whilst the company is advancing, they are introducing new technology, new systems, and what have you, she's given the opportunity? Now we know that it is possible to be part of this, virtual conferences, to participate, to be able to work from home, if possible.
Wow. Thank you so very much.
We are talking about women showing up. Is it possible that whilst in the political setting, right, we know the challenges that women have when it comes to finances, seeking finances for political campaigns and so on and so forth? Is it possible that the various political parties will support the women with whatever they need? Is it possible that they reduce the filing fees that they pay so it makes it easy? Is it possible that if there are areas where there are safe seats for the political parties, and we know that this woman, Adwa Mansa, Marjorie, is capable of succeeding, she has the qualities, is it possible to safeguard that seat for her to go and contest without being part of this whole, antagonistic, very aggressive and violent campaigning system to go and join the men or other people to campaign?
Thank you so very much. And definitely, we're going to get more into that. Let me just take 2 more comments, then we'll come back into the conversation. Kennedy Mensah says, I want to appreciate Oheneyere Gifty Anti for her contribution towards women empowerment over the years. My concern is it appears that most people who purport to champion the cause of women tend to focus on highly placed, educated women. When Akua Donkor initially put herself up to be voted for as president of Ghana, we barely heard of any encouragement and support from the gender advocate. However, when the NDC selected the good professors, suddenly most of them have found their voices to speak against attacks on her. Why this selectivity? And of course, Na Otua Aban says, very proud of you, sis. Keep up the good work. Now Otuaban says, very proud of you, says, keep up the good work. So I think I know, but of course, I would say that in your delivery, you mentioned Akua Donkor, but then she wants to know that most women empowerment.
Yeah, let me react to this. You see, sometimes people just want to box women into the fact that you are empowered as a woman, or you just want to champion the cause of women and you're a feminist, and so you must jump on board to support every woman. Even with the Professor Jane Nano Pokwajima being selected, you will not have the NPP women, no matter how empowered they are, no matter how much contribution, to come out and support them. No, this is politics.
Right.
This is politics. So you have somebody like me who has not identified openly with any political parties to come out and support all the women. On my program, The Standpoint, since the beginning of September, we crawled the names of all the female parliamentary candidates, their constituencies, their region and everything, and support of them. And we have declared that we support all the women, and we're encouraging people to campaign and to vote for them.
Mm-hmm.
But then those women that you were talking about, or he or she is worried about,
Mm-hmm.
they are politicians too. They have their parties. They want their parties to win.
Mm.
The same way, no matter how well I speak and be passionate about it, there are certain things some women do that I do not support, and I will not come and support it.
Right.
There are some women who get into trouble. I may not speak up
Mm-hmm.
because I know how they will react.
Mm.
I know how they will go back or come back and then bite you and put you to shame.
And put it to shame. Hmm.
There are some, we all have areas we focus on. So don't expect that every woman will come and support a woman just because she's a woman.
She's a woman. So that's a comment, but we may not necessarily deliberate on it. He says, I think sometimes women are of their own enemies, causing more restrictions to their own progress in politics and any other settings. I hope Gifty will agree with me that most of these setbacks of women's inability to be actively involved in politics and other jurisdictions. So I think it's actually somehow.
I totally disagree that women are not their own enemies. They are not.
No, but
women are not, just like we say men are their own enemies. Did he watch the American presidential debate? Did he see how it went? Would we say men are their own enemies? Do we hear the men, fighting each other, some even fighting physically during political campaigns? Do we say men are their own enemies? Listen, women, we are different. There are women, irrespective of what, there are women who don't like me. There are women that I will not go and support their cause because of one or two things. There's something I don't believe in. Right. It doesn't mean we are enemies. We are just human beings. Just like a man may not like you, there's a woman who may not like you. There's a man who will intimidate you. There's a woman who may. It is society. It's human nature. It's human attitude. It's just that some of us have made up our mind that we will strive and build confidence and build boldness and empower women. Not empower them, not give them power, but remind them of who they are, what they can do. Do you understand? Okay. I have had a journey of being frustrated by some women, but then I decided I'm not going to do that. Right. I'm going to make sure I be the end or the one to break the chain. So I am going to strive, no matter how tempted, no matter how provocative, no matter how annoying it gets sometimes. True. I have decided to stay positive and to hold some other person's hands. All right. And it's not everybody who can do that.
Okay, so now I want us to move to another area. Let me allow you to reposition. I think the camera feed is actually a little bit blurry on your side. Let me allow you to reposition. Once again, this is Africa Let's Talk. My name is Collins Kofi. We're talking about women leadership and politics and the new global challenge. And I have the privilege of speaking with Oheneyere Gifty Anti. And we are definitely making some great insights into some of this conversation. And thanks so much for your comments. You are more than welcome to also send your comments, your feedback, your questions, if you have any for Madam or Oheneyere Gifty Anti. The next thing we'll be talking about is that even whilst we talk about the positive development of women, there are also some trends that have been described as worrying, such as the issue of slave queens in parts of Africa, especially in Ghana. What is your view of this trend, and how can we avert this among young girls? Of course, but by definition, to those who may not understand, slave queens is by definition girls or women who do not have a wealthy background, but they appear as if they do. Sometimes they use malicious acts to obtain cash, drink expensive alcohol, procure expensive stuff. So please, what is your view of this trend?
I posted a picture of myself on my page, my personal page, Oheneyere Nana Dansoa, and then somebody wrote, "Wow, you are slaying." I said, "Please." Well, it's quite worrying, people trying to portray themselves to be something that they are not. It's all got to do with the pressures of especially social media. People, exhibiting certain lifestyles and, the falsehood, the lies on social media. And so people watch it and want to be like it. They think that is a life. That's one of the reasons I actually wrote my latest book, 50 Nuggets at 50, which talks about 50 of my many experiences in my 50 years. As you know, I turned 50 in January this year.
Right, congratulations.
And so I share to people for people because I get worried when people say that I want to be like you, Auntie Gifty, because I realize they don't know my story, they don't know my journey, they don't know the pitfalls that I've fallen into. They don't know my failures, my mistakes. And so they see the Gifty Auntie. Suddenly, even when I shared our flyer for this program tonight, one of my younger sister, who's a medical doctor, says, "Whoa, I'm praying that when I grow up, I also attain such greatness." Have you read 50 Nuggets? They don't understand that life is a process. Life is a journey, and that you need to be who you are. You need to be you to attain greatness. You cannot, pretend. Interestingly, in my book, I wrote about pretense. I said pretense is so hard. How long can you keep on? And so very soon people find out that you are not who you claim to be. People wear a dress today and they don't want to wear it again because I've worn it on social media. People say, so I can't repeat it. And you actually, when you repeat it, you have people saying that I saw you, but it's the way you portray yourself.
Portray yourself, yes.
It's the way, the image you give. I repeat my clothes all the time. But of the many things that are said about me, none is about how I repeat my clothes, or they've seen me wear this on the standpoint before, and I'm wearing to do an interview, or they've seen me wear this here, and it's not about. It's because of how you portray yourself. It's all about education and leadership for us to let the young ones know that it's more about what is here and what is here. That is what will carry you through. That is what will take you to places. It's not about the material things. When I was growing up, my father taught me something. He said, for your good, not your goods. And for the material thing, there'll be ups and downs.
Yeah.
I've been to a place where I had everything at my disposal, to a place where I lost everything materially. But then my brand, my relevance, my impact never diminished.
Right.
Funny enough, during those difficult times, that is when I had even bigger platforms. You know why? Because I was telling my truths.
Wow.
I was telling my truths and actually letting people know my journey. And that is what resonated with people.
Very.
The reality, the truths of life, the simplicity, the humility, and the acceptance of you being human and fallible.
Yes.
So I always tell young people that, listen, life is not what you see on social media. No. Life is not what, as we are talking to, if you should see what is surrounding me, what is going on around me. My daughter is out there playing, screaming, dancing, jumping and shouting, I want mommy, but you will not hear it.
No.
So if I come and sit here and say, oh, my daughter is on holidays, or I've sent her to, you won't believe it because you're not seeing my daughter.
Yes.
You're only seeing just a part of my office. So, it's worrying, but I guess when we keep talking, when we keep educating, when we keep empowering, people will come to understand that this is not the life.
Indeed.
It's not so much. It's nice to have the Range Rover,
Yeah.
But then what?
Indeed. Thanks so much, Oheneyere. Now Otuaban says you are too powerful, spoken like the wise woman I know. And
that's my sister anyway. My sister from another mother.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, she mentioned that to me, and I'm happy to really hear that.
She's an amazing woman. Yes.
Yes. Al Hassan Sahad Dagbana says she just agreed to the fact that she and her colleagues advocated for some women to be voted into certain offices in the area of politics, and agreed to the fact that women in various political parties wouldn't look beyond their party's colors to promote the empowerment of the gender equality she mentioned. Isn't that becoming an enemy of your own gender? So I think, he probably needs a little bit of explanation into...
He is so bent on pushing the agenda that women are their own enemies. But women are not their own enemies, because we have lots of. I mean, I don't know if you remember the likes of the late Hawa Yakubu.
Mm-hmm.
Hawa Yakubu was an independent candidate before, parliamentary candidate, and became an MP before he joined the MPP. Because he joined the MPP, she was an amazing woman, and across political divide, everybody can make reference to her.
Right.
And the way she's paving the way for other women. You know, yes. And we can talk about, you know, the Ama Benua Does, the Esla Owusus of today. We can talk about, you know, Obobia, Dako Opoku. We can talk about, I mean, so many of them. The Haji Alima Mohammed, you know, people that you can, it's a shift. That's what I'm talking about. You know, and that's one of the programs I'm going to do on my program. And I encourage you, Collins, maybe you can get one of the politicians, former female politicians, and find out what happens when they get in there. They are whipped into line to promote the party agenda.
The party agenda.
Instead of the women agenda.
All right.
They are whipped into line.
Okay. Yeah, I think your feed is getting a little blurry. I would let you reposition, and then we can take two more comments, and hopefully, because of time, we'll just move on to maybe a question or two more I have. Then we can take Sharon Boatin says, hi, Oheneyere Gifty. My name is Sharon, and I'm a Ghanaian who was raised primarily in America. I am new to Ghanaian politics, but I wanted to ask, what are some setbacks you have faced as a woman in the Ghanaian political atmosphere, and what have you done to improve the quality of living for women and children in Ghana? So let me get you back. Hopefully it's, yes. So, yes.
Is it better?
Yes, I believe it's a lot better. It goes in and out, so hopefully it should stay this time.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so there was a question.
So can I answer?
Yes, you may, please.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, I think we've already talked about some of the challenges that the women in politics, basically the name calling, you know, the stigmatization, the trying to, you know, shame them into oblivion, and trying to, you know, do everything they can to cow them into quote unquote submission. And as for what I do for women and children in this country, well, let me tell you, I have 3 charities. The first one is Girl in Need Foundation, where I have supported young girls 18 years and below across the country. We take care of them. We pay their school fees. Before the introduction of free SHS, we pay their school fees 18 years and below. And these girls are girls who find themselves in abusive environments. We pay their school fees. Some of them, when they go to school, you have to buy everything for them, including toothbrush, toothpaste, sponge, to bath, you know, everything, chalk, box, trunk, mattress. You know what it takes when we go to when you're going to secondary school. We pay even children in creche. We have a man whose wife died tragically during, you know, when she was going to have a baby. The story is so pathetic that we stepped in to support this man because he couldn't work again. He had to come stay at home and take care of the children. We took care of that child, and from her infancy, now the child is 4 years. We're still taking care of her. I mean, we have over 100 girls. Some of them are tertiary institutions. Some of them are working now. So we do that. And the impact that our programs and projects have on, you know, the young people of this country, I always meet people and they tell me, you have no idea the impact you are making. I have the Wood and Soil reading project where I collect storybooks for children in rural communities to get them to fall in love with reading. Because I am where I am all because of education.
True.
Education. That's what has brought me here. So I believe in education. And I believe that the textbook or classroom work, study and education is not enough to propel you to live your dreams. Storybooks open your mind to a greater world. It exposes you to things that you do not see in your environment. You get
Wow.
me? And that's
Yes.
who I was when I was growing up. Tema, come to one library. It was my second home. In fact, it was my first home. But I
Yeah.
went to one government school they used to call Saito.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is where I got my brilliance, let me say.
Indeed.
You know, and
Indeed.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, I
that's
said
what I
indeed.
got. So instead of going to Form 4, right? Instead of going to Form 4 to write the common entrance, I wrote my common entrance in Form 2
Oh.
to
Wow.
go to Infantsman Girls Secondary School.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in that. And then my third charity is Happy Feet.
Happy feet.
Happy Feet. Christmas, I collect and ask people to give me brand new shoes to give to children in the rural communities.
Awesome.
Now you wonder why? Because Christmas has a way of transforming the lives of young people.
The lives of young people.
Even as an adult, when you get a new shoe, you have somewhere to go. You see, with the confidence
yes.
with which you walk, you exhibit yourself, and children can be really, wicked, towards each other. It's
Yes.
Christmas and you don't have a brand new shoe. But
True.
then, when these children, I've seen them over the years since I got married to my husband and I started with his village in Edumasa. Now we do it across, about 10 communities that they all come and get it. This year we are going to go to the central region. Give to these children the fact that they know somebody cares about them, the fact that they know that they can get a new shoe. The confidence that they get never leaves them.
Wow.
And
Thanks so much
children.
for these great interventions that you continue to do. I'm not sure whether we can run through because there were two major things that I wanted us to talk about. Yesterday, you actually spoke at a conference about gender inequality, bridging the gap in nursing and midwifery professions. So I just wanted to know first and foremost, what was the major take from that conference? And then we would come down to the issue of domestic violence, especially here in the United States, where in some African homes, the killing of wives by some Africans, recently, the case of Barbara Tomei, who was recently shot 7 times in front of her office by her husband, who is supposed to be a pastor. So these are the two major issues that I want you to tackle for me as we go into the final stage of this conversation.
Yesterday was amazing. It was massive, I felt so drained after that because I felt something had left me.
Right.
I felt I had given something within me. If you watch it, I actually left my iPad in the car. And so my speech was in there. But finally, when I got my iPad just as I decided not to go by the speech, but to speak from the heart. And I believe I reached out to them. I believe I touched their heart to let them understand that their profession is a noble profession.
Indeed.
And they need to be proud of what they do and be passionate about it. But after that, I also realized that aside the professional challenges, they have individual challenges that impact or affect their output, their productivity negatively. You see, that is what we are talking about, the situations that women go through. They came to me. Even today, someone came to, she was supposed to have returned this morning to the north, but she wanted to talk to me, to pour her heart out for me just to listen. So she came to my office today to have a chat with me. We have so many issues that affect us, that, goes a long way to inhibit our ability to function and function properly. And there are these issues we need to handle. That's why HRs in various companies must make a conscious effort to look out for the women in there. When you are going through your menstrual cycle, something happens to you. You can't be the usual self. And then you reach these days, menopause even starts around, 35 years.
Wow, that's early.
It's part of a womanhood, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to be ashamed of. Pregnancy comes with its own challenges. A woman who's married, irrespective of how powerful she is, and there are pressures in her home, forcing her to conceive. She's been married 2, 3 years, 4 years. There's no child. You can imagine what kind of mindset has this person got? What kind of peace of mind has she got? to even think about developing herself
Mm.
and to advance and live her dreams.
Right.
Well, talking about abuse,
Hmm.
it's a shame. It's a shame. And
Very.
I tell women, quite recently, I did a Facebook Live that when he shows you who he is, please run. Run.
Mm.
And I told that sometimes, and when you leave, that is when it becomes even more dangerous. Because they know that when you're in there, when the abuse is going and they are in there, sometimes you think you have nowhere to go.
Right.
They are also, sometimes, but when you dare leave, sometimes that is when they haunt you. Because just in the case of Barbara, may she rest in peace. When she left, that is when this man realizes that, no, this girl is gone. And so if I can't have her, no one should have her.
Very dangerous.
And did whatever he did. So we must look out for each other. Family members must look out for each other. You see, there's wisdom in ancestry. We Ghanaians, years ago, before you marry, your family does a research into the home of your partner, the man, the woman. What kind of home, what kind of background do they come from? What kind of challenges do you have? Now, of course, we are Christians. We know that, salvation abounds for all of us. God is merciful. But I say that God has given us wisdom.
Indeed.
He has given us wisdom. And the men, if you don't love her, if she's not making you happy, if she's not living up to your expectation, just let her go. After all, men, you say the women in the world, we are more than the men. So you definitely get someone.
Yes.
And women should stop that. And I've wasted my years and, I've served him. I think, no, let go. Your life matters. There are three cardinal things for me that are most important when it comes to this journey of life. 1, to be alive. 2, to be healthy. 3, to be strong. Once you have these 3, all other things are possible. Anything and everything can happen to you. Opportunities abound. All you need is to stay alive, stay healthy, and stay strong.
Yes.
We must all stand up and protect each other. When your friend comes to you, telling you, when your sister comes to you, when your brother comes to you, don't look at the perpetrator or the person they are accusing of being the abuser as, oh, no, he can't do that. As for Collins, yes, I know Collins, Collins will not do that. As for Gifty can't do that. No, people are not always who they portray themselves to be outside.
Wow.
The most dangerous abusers are the sweetest human beings outside their homes.
Very, 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 very important. Wow. Thanks so much. I think we would definitely want to have a second part of this conversation because there are indeed a lot of even questions and comments that are coming up. But I told you I was not going to exceed your time, and we have. But I truly appreciate you being on the show and sharing these nuggets with us and these very important topics that the society needs to have conversations about so that we can actually ignite some great uphill and, of course, important conversation for women to make sure that women get their right positions in the community. Before I let you go, you mentioned earlier on that there are a couple of books that you have written. If you can give us a wrap up of these books and where people can get to buy copies, please.
Okay. Now, first of all, I also like to say thank you to Dr. Marjorie Apia, who made this connection possible for me to get this opportunity. I'm so grateful to her. She's an amazing Marjorie Buafo is the author of 2 books. That's The Shimmy Grant and then Same Elephants. Her books are also on Amazon, so you can buy it. She's also on Instagram, and she has a YouTube channel, Margie TV, that her podcast you must go and like and follow.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to my book, this is my first book, A Bit of Me.
A Bit of Me.
A Bit of Me is an inspirational book, and I mean the testimonies that have come out of this book is amazing.
Yes.
It became #1 on Amazon within a week that Marjorie and her team put it on Amazon, under survival biographies category. It became #1. That's my first book. And then this is my second book, that the best of you. It's a book of affirmations. You read it every day, you look at it, there's something new in there that will help empower you, that will encourage you, that will embolden you to understand that, yes, life is a journey and there will be ups and downs, but whatever it is, all you need is to stay positive, stay strong, stay healthy, and you will make it. Then my final one for now, that's 50 Nuggets at 50. This book was written during my 50th birthday, and it shares 50 of my many experiences, many experiences in life, 50 of them. So they are all on Amazon.com. And if you're in Ghana, you just need to call 0543 618182. We are running an October promo. And so the prices have reduced. You can get all three for 90 cities now for the month of October, all three for 90 cities. Now I know Madge is also campaigning that those who buy it on Amazon should get to enjoy the promo. So from tomorrow, we'll also do something. We'll run a promo on Amazon as well. So those watching us from outside Ghana can get copies for. Right now, you can get it less than $36, all three of them. So maybe we'll round it up to all three. You get it less than $36. I think it all comes to $35.99 for all three books. Yes,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for doing this.
Thank you.
For me, that is so important of people who have actually chalked some good successes and experiences to put their thoughts and their experiences in books, so that instead of all of us having to go through that process, we can pick one of your books and then learn how you were able to overcome these obstacles.
That's my mantra, Collins, my mantra, to make sure that anybody who comes across my life, anybody near me, anybody who admires me, anybody who looks up to me will not repeat the mistakes that I have made. They will make their own mistakes. True. They will face their challenges. But then I put them all, especially in this book, so that when you read it, you know when the signs are coming.
Indeed.
You can avoid it. So if you don't avoid it, it's not because your mentor, your role model, the woman didn't tell you or lie to you, but maybe it's because it's your own decision. That is what matters to me. To impact lives, so they don't make the mistakes that I made.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so selfless of you and very generous of you too. Because I mean, that's our tradition. Sometimes we want people to go through. I remember when we were children, and one of my cousins, he stepped on a nail, and he makes sure I pass the same route so that I also step on the nail. And but I'm happy indeed. You and like people like you are putting out your life out there so that all of us can take advantage of it. So please, guys who are asking where you can get the pictures of the books, it's going to be on Amazon. We're going to leave some of the, we're actually going to leave the information on it so that all of you can get to read it. Margie says, if you live outside of Ghana, the books are available on Amazon, and don't forget to leave a review. Thanks so much, Margie. And we truly appreciate it. Before I let you go, please, any person comment before I let you go?
Well, thank you so much. And I just want to let our viewers know that, yes, we are going through difficult times. We are not out of the woods yet. COVID-19 is still around. It's a pandemic. We need to stay safe. We need to stay positive. We need to start thinking outside the box. We need to start creating our own boxes. Where I talk about creating our own boxes, finding ways of making life possible, fulfilling our dreams, and living our dreams. Even in these times, life must not come to a standstill, all because of COVID-19. We must live, but we must live differently. We must be careful. Until COVID-19, my sister Majimaj wouldn't have even thought about having her humanity, chats on Thursdays, on Instagram, or having her YouTube channel. She was okay doing it. Now she's found a different way of going about it. And we all have found different ways of doing things, right?
Indeed.
Yes, we find ways. But I just want you to encourage, this is a storm that will settle. But whilst we are in the storm, how are we making sure we stay sane and safe and still manage to live, so that when the storm is lifted, we have learned something new. We have become a better person or people. Life is a journey, and this is part of the difficult patches in life. We will get there. And let me apologize for the bad network that we experienced during parts of the broadcast, but we hope that the message went on well. And I wish you all the best. This is a new month. Hey, this is the month for breast cancer, pink month. Ladies, this is the life that you need to be proud of who you are. Take care of your boobies, your girls. You know, this year, this month, the mantra is, you must, yes, your boobies. You must grab your boobs, grab life, you know, by holding on to your boobies, taking good care of yourself, do some checks.
I'm happy you mentioned this. I'm happy you mentioned there's a good friend of mine, Evron Hughes. He for years has said that during the month of breast cancer awareness, he will avail himself to actually, how did they call it, examine the women's breast. And for 2 years, no woman has come for him to do that. So I'm sure if he said he wants to be an examiner of the breast. So I don't know. Do we have Evron, please?
But tell him to do his own, because there's some men, about I think 1 or 2% of men also do get breast cancer. Tell him to do himself. We will do our own and our partners. And if you are married, like you, and congratulations to you, Collins. You know,
thank you very much.
New husband in town, and congratulations to your amazing wife as well. You know, I wish you the best of luck. I wish you a happy marriage, and I know that this will work. You know.
Amen.
So the men, make sure when you are playing with your wife's breast and you sense something, don't keep quiet. Speak up.
Very important. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Oheneyere Gifty Anti, for this powerful, impactful conversation with regards to women leadership, politics, and the new global challenge. I know there were some comments that came through that I wasn't able to read, but then I will just run through the comments quickly. Okay, so Alhassan said, can you please ask her what are the most important attitude of women did she think creates the setback of women? So we will definitely have this conversation again, and we'll bring some of these questions up. Alhassan said, I've always been a fan of Gifty when she was with GTV. She was the reason I was glued to the news at 7 p.m. in Ghana before I moved to the USA. The great woman she is. Maggie says, thanks for the shout out. Maggie TV is grateful. You rock. And Al-Hassan comes again and says, wisdom from a great woman. Thank you for your time. And so please, would definitely follow up with Oheneyere to actually get these conversations and questions across to her at the appropriate time. Once again, okay, I think you're back. Let me allow you to say your goodbye before I let you go.
Yes.
Hello,
yes. Yeah, as I said, I mean, the men, when during intimacy, when you are playing with your wife's breast and you notice something, don't keep quiet. Speak up so that she knows. Yeah. And support the women too. So, okay. So when I say women, you say we love our breast. When I say men, you say we love the breast.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So you support
okay, please.
it.
I'm ready.
This is Pink October.
I am ready to repeat after you, please.
Women.
We love our breast.
Women. We love our breast.
Our breast.
Men. We love their breast.
We love the breast.
Yes. Exactly.
Thank you so very much.
Together, let's fight against breast cancer.
Amen. It's a major thing. And my mom is a survivor of breast cancer. So I definitely understand to what extent this conversation is important. Thanks so much once again, Oheneyere. It's so sad to let you go, but I'm happy this conversation happened. God bless you. Have a great evening. And of course, may all the dreams, may all your projects, everything you set off to do, may it prosper beyond your imagination and even the imagination of your doubters. And may God continue to bless and flourish everything you do. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so very much. Once again, this is Africa. Let's talk to everybody who joined the conversation. A big thank you to you for joining the conversation. A couple of commercials before I let you go. It's very important at this time that shipping has become a big deal, especially when we are getting so close to December. And if you want the speedy and trusted service as far as shipping from the USA to Ghana is concerned, then all you have to do is to keep in touch with Sea Trading and Shipping. You can call them on phone number 612-517-4715 or phone number 952-288-7707. Like I said, if you want your shippings to just be as trusted and reliable as possible from the United States to Ghana, then definitely have to be in touch with Sea Trading and Shipping. Also, Pumulani is actually taking care of the homelessness, and we're talking about how we want to end homelessness one woman at a time. Don't even forget that Pumulani was a big partner to today's conversation. So thank you very much, Comfort Dondo, for what you continue to do. So all you have to do if you are actually facing homelessness is to call this number like right now, 612-442-4894. And they will be in touch with you so that they can help provide temporary housing for women who may be at risk of abuse or fleeing abuse. Of course, there's also another Pumulani thing coming up, which is men conversation. It says we are inviting men to discuss how to build healthy families. October is also the month of domestic violence. Now, it has become very clear that most instances of domestic violence actually emanates from the men. So we are coming together as African men to be part of conversations as to how to build healthy homes to coincide with the Domestic Violence Month in October. Pumulani is partnering with the Domestic Abuse Project, DAP, for this circle of discussion. If you are interested, all you have to do is to send an email to comfort.dondo@pumulani.org, or you can call 615-251-9421, I believe. But you can call or send an email so that you can be part of this conversation to prove a point that you stand against domestic violence as a man. Thanks so much, everybody, for being a part of this. Jordana actually continues to do amazing with regards to online tutorials. Now is the time to take advantage of the Jordana several promotions that are ongoing. For K-12 math and science, we realize that most of the time, several children, K-12, are finding it difficult to understand mathematics. This time around, they can be in the comfort of their homes and get the best of math tutoring from several pool of best students across the United States of America. You can have flexible scheduling and select your own subject and topics. And it's also a pay as you go. All you have to do today is to go on www.myjordana.com and you can take advantage of these maths tutoring and science tutoring that are taking place across the globe. Once again, my name is Collins Kofi Opon. Thanks to Pumulani for partnering this program. And of course, a big thank you to Margie for actually connecting this conversation with Oheneyere Gifty Anti. To the producer for today, leading the production team here at African Let's Talk, Efia, I say a very big thank you for the job that you do for African Let's Talk. Have a good evening.
Jesus, la me wade, me de mandali da pebito. Forward, young, Africa, baby, say somewhere, you know me, Benaya. Mama Africa, oh, Mama Africa, Mama Africa, come on, stand up and dance it, come on.
Yeah, you can run all the others. I say you can run it and then can end it.
Jesus